Welcome back everybody to Age of Sigmar video where we're going to go over every single reveal from Adepticon. And now I watched the stream twice to try to see if there was any hidden spoken information, and we're going to go through the Warhammer community article that has the information as well and just go through every single piece of news. So if you wanted to check it out and catch up, we can do that together. So first things first, we have a brand new Spearhead box set that is coming out. It is called Sand and Bones. It's going to take place in Shyish, and there's going to be a brand new board. We're also going to talk about the new Generals Handbook, as well as a new campaign and upgrades or rules that are coming to all the different factions, which is super exciting. So first off, let's talk about the Spearhead update. So the box is going to come with 6 pieces of terrain. There's 4 walls, and then there's a crypt and a statue. And these pieces of terrain, the statue and the crypt specifically, are going to have rules associated with them, actions that you can perform during the game, and they will give you bonuses, or possibly, they will deal damage to you or something. Maybe you have to roll for it. There's going to be a risk element with that. The boards are going to be laid out differently, so we can see, for example, in this picture, that the boards are going to have varying amounts and locations of objectives. So on the right board, the green side, you can see a big, large center objective and 4 ones on the other parts of the board. But then the other board is going to be just 4 objectives all the same side. You can also see that they're both diagonal deployment, which is my preferred deployment. I think that's a really cool way to do it. And that's great. I think that helps a lot of factions out. Obviously, I'm biased as a Cities of Sigmar player. We did better on the diagonal deployment, but we didn't do really well on any board anyway. So there's a picture of the terrain. You can see that bust statue is pretty busty. Yeah, went for it. And then otherwise, there's like a rule book that comes in here, and then rules for the new 4 Spearhead armies, which we'll look at in just a sec here. And then the core rules are still in the core book or on the Warcom website under the downloads section. So for Cities of Sigmar, we have a brand new Fusel platoon, and this is going to be a Wildercorp Hunter unit, an Alchemite Warforger, a Fusel Major on Ogre Warhulk, and then it will be 10 Fusiliers, but they'll be split up in the Spearhead mode to be 5 units, or sorry, 5 man units. So 2 of them for the Fusiliers, and that maybe will have reinforcements, or maybe one of the other units will have reinforcements. I don't know. We don't know yet. We don't have the full rules yet, but we can't expect them to have similar stats. They already showed some war scrolls, and all the war scrolls they showed are very similar statted to what was already in the game. So there shouldn't be any big surprises here. It's just going to be a ton of shooting, and then some mobility, trying to get after some tactics or some objectives and stuff. And there's going to be new twists, new battle tactics, and new commands that you can use with the new cards that come in this box set. So it is interesting to see that there's Warcry stuff in here. That is a really good sign for not the game of Warcry. There's a bad sign about that. We'll talk about that in a sec here. But the fact that these models won't be going anywhere because they're in a Spearhead box. And similarly, in the Seraphon box, there is an Underworlds warband in there, which is good to see because, again, they're not going anywhere. In the Seraphon box, you get 10 Saurus Warriors, you get a spawn of Chotec, you get some Terra Wings at the back there, 3 of them, and then you get the Sun-Blooded Prowlers, which are going to be a kind of a 3 health each, 3 model hero unit that is acting as the general for this Spearhead. And I don't know if they have like big sig rules or if they're going to get them or not. I'm not sure about that. The Seraphon players can let me know. I don't think that they do have rules, at least maybe they're legends or something. But either way, they're going to be in the Spearhead, which is a really interesting thing. I guess I might as well say, in terms of Warcry, if you're wondering why did I allude to bad news, basically there was no news, which is really weird. I think somebody asked on stream about Warcry, and they basically said, like, we've got nothing for you. Maybe on Warhammer community, you can keep an eye out. But the fact that it hasn't been mentioned in a long time is kind of concerning. So then we have the OCR Bone Reapers Mortisan Elite. It's already an elite army, but this is a very, very elite spearhead because you're going to get 2 Morghast Archai, but I guess they could be built either way, but the way they're built for the spearhead rules-wise is the Archai, 3 Immortus Guard, 3 Necropolis Stalkers, and then an Ossifector. And so they're going to be low numbers, but super powerful. And then we have the Ogre Maw Tribes, which has a Man Trapper, 12 Noblars, a Noblar Scrap Launcher, and then 2 units of 2 Iron Guts, with an additional unit of 4 Iron Guts coming in later on via the late reinforcements rule, because that would be too much to get all at once. And so that's going to be the 4th of the spearheads that are coming out. Now you can win a spearhead and a paint set if you subscribe to the newsletter. Last time I did this, it did not work for a bunch of people, including myself. This time I'm happy to report it did work, which was really awesome. They also mentioned on stream that this will support all previous spearheads. Those rules are valid on this board. There's no spearheads that are being discontinued, at least not yet, and there's no rules that are discontinued. Anything that you can play spearhead with now, you can still play with in the new pack when it comes out. We also have another big announcement, which is the Generals Handbook, and that's coming out in the summer, is what they said. And basically, we're going to get the Soulblight Gravelords book and battletome and the models and all that kind of stuff. Then we're going to get the Spearhead update, and then we're going to get the Generals Handbook before they go on to the next set of armies that are getting updates. And so we'll see what those are in just a sec here. But in terms of the Generals Handbook, it's actually a full box now. There's a ton of value here. You get the book that has all of the rules and all the war scrolls and the battle plans, etc. But you also still get the cards that were so nice that you got in the Scaventide box and all the war scroll cards for manifestations. But you also get 6 objective markers, which are honestly really cool. And I'm pretty pumped about that. I think they're seeing that people are going and getting these things or printing them or making them themselves. And so if they can put it into a product, then obviously we're going to buy it because we want those things. We're going and doing them ourselves. So I'm absolutely getting this. I'm pretty excited about it. I wonder how much more expensive it's going to be than a regular General's Handbook because it has all of the extras. Either way, I'm pretty happy to be getting all these things. Whenever I play against an opponent with the battle plan card, it's always very helpful to look at that, and I really like that. It says it's 12 new battle plans, so it's not going to be recycled battle plans. I mean, that's what it alludes to, so that's all very cool. And the cover has a Free Guild Marshal, which is also rad, and I'm super into that. The theme of this one is going to be Ghyran, so that's the realm that we're going to be in, and they say that the battle tactics are going to be revamped, new battle tactics, and they said to expect significant changes to battle tactics as the system shifts to a series of sequential goals that you select as part of your army composition. So maybe for a season, we're going to move away from positional battle tactics. And now let's face it, you planned your deployment and your composition around achieving battle tactics already, but this means that maybe you're setting those goals specifically during your army building rather than having the open ability to pick a battle tactic at the beginning of a round. But that would lead me to believe that there'll be battle tactics that work for certain strategies and styles. And so that if you are not an army that can move around the entire map and be mobile, you can still score points and you won't get forced into a game that your army's not suited for. And that's going to be really interesting. I'm actually quite intrigued by this. They also mentioned that there's going to be a big Scourge of Ghyran campaign that's going to be leading up to this with short stories every day. It's going to have new army rules, including new enhancements and equipment and artifacts and stuff. It's going to have brand new war scrolls, not for new units or new models, but to replace ones that are already in armies, and also things like new battle formations for people to pick and new regiments of renown for people to use. Now, this is similar treatment to what 40K gets, where they just get brand new detachments and things out of the blue. And I'm thrilled to see this as well. I'm so excited. I can't even Like, there's so many things I would love to see happen for Cities of Sigmar. As an example, if the Cavalier Marshal got a new war scroll, that would be pretty significant for us. Or if there was a new battle formation that really helped this out. And I know that every single one of you, for your favorite army, you can also probably put down a wish list. Actually, if you're watching right now, then I want you to share in the comments, if they're going to redo one of your war scrolls in your army, which one do you want them to do? And what kind of battle formation or new regiment of renown would you like to see? Because all of those things are very, very exciting. And by the way, the more regiments of renown there are, the more we want to go out and buy other armies, because we want to use those models from other armies. And then now I got one foot into that army, well, I'll probably buy some more models from that army, and maybe I'll build up a full 2K force, or I'm going to get a spearhead or whatever. So it's all makes a lot of sense for them to be doing that. So the final thing that they mentioned is the roadmap. So like I said, Soulblight Gravelords is next. Then we have the Spearhead box. Then we have Generals Handbook, followed by Ideneth Deepkin, Blades of Corn, Karajan Overlords, Night Haunt, and then Flesh Eater Quartz. So that is a lot of releases. That is 8 releases that we now know are coming. They said that the Generals Handbook is in the summer, which seems so far away. So I wonder what their definition of summer is, because it seems like that's not a lot of releases to get us there. But if that's the case, then it seems like this is nearly the rest of 2025. And so if you don't have an army on the screen right now, then you're likely not getting anything this year necessarily, which is all the more important for them to be putting out new war scrolls, new battle formations, new enhancements, things like that. Absolutely vital. And then also shaking up the game in a major way with the General's Handbook, which I honestly super pumped for. So that's pretty much it for reveals. They did mention that there's going to be these upcoming articles on the website that are going to have things like previewing the new battle tactics, things like previewing new rules or stories or lore and all these other elements to the game. And all those things are very, very exciting. The one thing that was kind of weird is that this is a really big event, and obviously for 40K, they revealed something like 6 or 7 armies and miniatures from all of them. And now I'm not expecting them to do that for Age of Sigmar, but to not even show off some models from one of these factions. Like, I know we've seen most of the Soulblight Gravelord stuff, so honestly, show us the one Ideneth Deepkin hero they're going to get with their book, like, which is the meme, by the way. That's not what I'm saying. I hope they get more than that. But that's all I hear people say online, is they're going to get the one hero. So show them the one hero. Come on. That's the one thing I would have wanted to see. Maybe a preview of something from one of the other factions, just based on what 40K got. But, you know, it is what it is. Overall, really cool to see all this new stuff coming out. This is the clearest the roadmap's been in a long time, and that's really good as well. It helps people plan and save money. It means that I can really budget accordingly to developing my current forces and not needing to worry about anything new, which is always cool. So that's going to be it. I'll probably do some more thoughts on this content or these announcements at some point, but for now, here's the glance at everything that's coming. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you all again soon in another video.